In this video, we're going to be looking at how to breathe correctly, also known as diaphragmatic breathing, and also the reasons why you're probably not doing it. I'll also be going through the benefits of diaphragmatic breathing, as well as the problems caused by breathing incorrectly, also known as chest breathing. Hi, and welcome to the Optimise channel. My name is Vish, I'm a doctor working in Australia, and I make videos to help you improve your health, wealth, happiness, productivity, and plenty more besides. This is the order of the topics I'm going to be going through in this video. First, I'll be looking at chest breathing, its problems, and why most people breathe like this. Then I'll go through the benefits of diaphragmatic breathing and teach you how to do it. Stick around to the end and I'll give you an exercise you can do every day to help you correct your breathing. So, let's start with incorrect breathing, which is also known as chest breathing. Let's start by checking your own breathing technique. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Most likely you did something like this. You sat or stood up straight, took in a deep breath, filling up your chest, and then exhaled. You probably noticed that on the inhale, you got a bit straighter and taller, and on the exhale, you slumped back down a little bit. This is chest breathing, and unfortunately, it's anatomically discordant, meaning you're using your body's breathing apparatus in a way that is inefficient. This is a bit like using the side of a fork to cut something. You'll probably manage to cut something soft, but it's more work and the resulting cut will be worse than if you just use a knife in the first place. Unfortunately, the vast majority of people breathe in this way. Here are 3 problems that chest breathing causes. 1. You overuse certain muscles in your neck and your shoulders. These muscles are called the accessory muscles of breathing, and they're normally only supposed to be used when you're breathing very hard, for example when you're sprinting, in order to give you that little bit extra breathing capability. If you chest breathe, you end up using these muscles all the time. So if you have back, neck, or shoulder pain, this could be the reason why. 2. It is much less efficient than diaphragmatic breathing. This is because A, the lower part of your lungs are much bigger, meaning they can fit in much more air, and B, because the lower parts of the lungs are much more efficient at transferring oxygen from your lungs into the bloodstream. By chest breathing, you're only using the top part of your lungs. So you have to take a larger amount of smaller breaths, i.e., you're having to do more work to get the same amount of oxygen into your bloodstream. 3. Chest breathing activates the fight or flight response, i.e., it increases stress in the body and in the mind. And this can happen irrespective of what's going on in your surroundings, whether there is a threat present or not. Try it for yourself now. Take some short, fast breaths and see how it makes you feel. And now take a slow, deep breath in order to calm yourself back down again. So, why do people end up breathing like this? Well, as babies and infants, we actually breathe diaphragmatically. Sometime between the ages of 5 and 10, your breathing switches from lower body diaphragmatic breathing to upper body chest breathing. Possible reasons for this are thus. 1. We start school and therefore we start sitting a lot. Excessive sitting negatively affects your posture. It causes you to hunch over, which limits the amount your lungs can expand. It also limits the amount the diaphragm can move. Both of these negatively affect your breathing. Try it now. Hunch forwards and try and take a deep breath into your stomach. Not very easy, is it? Number 2. Being taught that your lungs are up here, so that when we want to take a deep breath, we expand and fill that area up with air. Now, this is partially true. Some of the lungs are here. But it neglects the fact that the majority of the lungs are lower down and extend through to the back. 3. Fear of looking fat, which leads to us spending large amounts of time sucking in our stomachs. 4. Believing the myth that tensing our abdomen will increase our core strength. Over time, these things cause us to stop breathing diaphragmatically and convert into chest breathers. So, what is diaphragmatic breathing? Compared to chest breathing, diaphragmatic breathing is much deeper and much slower. It fills the lungs to a greater capacity and is normally done through the nose. Rather than using the muscles in our upper chest and neck, it uses the diaphragm. This is a large muscle found underneath the lungs. So, what are the benefits of diaphragmatic breathing? Number 1, it stimulates the vagus nerve, which calms the body and mind and puts it into the rest and digest mode. In this, the heart rate slows, blood pressure comes down, and muscles relax. Inflammation in the body reduces, and our immune function improves. The brain also relaxes, no longer having to use resources scanning the environment for threats and staying primed to respond to them. And thus, our ability to learn and remember things increases. This rest and digest mode is the opposite of the fight or flight mode, which you may remember from earlier is activated by chest breathing. 2. It eases stress and negative emotions, activating the brain's regulatory area, the prefrontal cortex, and reducing activity in the emotional area of the brain. 3. It is much more efficient than chest breathing, so less effort is needed in order to get the same amount of oxygen into your bloodstream. So how can you learn to breathe diaphragmatically? There are 4 things you need to keep in mind when learning to breathe diaphragmatically. 1. You need to understand what and where the diaphragm is. Much of the confusion around breathing occurs because people don't understand this. The diaphragm is a muscle that sits at the base of the chest and separates the chest from the abdomen. It activates to flatten when you inhale. This creates a vacuum and sucks air into the lungs. In order to exhale, the diaphragm relaxes and therefore air is pushed back out of the lungs. 2. You need to understand the role of your ribs in breathing. Your ribs are attached at the front to the sternum, this bone that comes down the center of your chest, and they're also attached at the spine, much like a bucket handle, starting here, going all the way around to the spine. And like bucket handles, they can move up and down. If you feel up from your stomach, you'll be able to feel your lowest ribs. They're the first hard bits that you encounter. When you inhale, the ribs move up, horizontally expanding your chest. And when you exhale, they move down, narrowing the chest again as air is pushed out. Number 3, you need to ensure that you have good posture when you breathe. Without it, you won't be able to breathe diaphragmatically. A hunched posture limits the amount your lungs can expand, and it also limits the movement of the diaphragm. Both of these will impact your ability to breathe diaphragmatically. I'll go into posture in more detail in future videos, but for now, here's a quick tip. Roll your shoulders back, and then move your ears so that they're above your shoulders. 4. Remember to breathe through your nose. This makes it much easier for you to breathe diaphragmatically. And try and make as little noise as you can when you breathe in and out. Noise indicates turbulent flow, and is an indication you're probably breathing too fast and probably chest breathing. Now, let's give diaphragmatic breathing a go. Put one hand on your chest and one on your abdomen. Breathe in slowly through your nose. The hand on your stomach should move. The hand on your chest shouldn't. As you inhale, imagine your diaphragm flattening down, pulling your lungs down with it, and your ribs moving up like bucket handles, expanding your chest horizontally. As you breathe, expand your abdomen. Breathe into your abdomen, your back, and into your sides. When you can't inhale anymore and you feel your diaphragm won't flatten anymore, pause, and then relax everything to exhale. By relaxing the diaphragm, it will elastically move back up and push air out of the lungs without any effort. During diaphragmatic breathing, your breath should be smooth, controlled, relaxed, and quiet, or silent. Well done, you are now breathing diaphragmatically. Efficient, anatomically congruous diaphragmatic breathing. How do you feel? Calmer, more focused? Now that you've got that down, I'm going to show you an exercise that you can do every day, so that over time, this becomes the way you breathe normally, rather than chest breathing. It's called tactical breathing. It involves inhaling diaphragmatically for 4 seconds, pausing for 4 seconds, exhaling for 4 seconds, pausing for 4 seconds, and then repeating this. If it helps, imagine 4 sides of a square, and for every 4 seconds of this exercise, imagine yourself traveling along the side from one corner to the next. The goal is that this unconsciously becomes the default way in which you breathe, instead of chest breathing. Aim to do this exercise at least twice a day. I try and do it first thing in the morning when I wake up and just before I go to sleep. Also try and do it any time in the day that you're feeling stressed. And just a note, it can be done lying down or standing up or sitting. If you found this video useful, do yourself and someone else a favor by liking it. This will help the YouTube algorithm suggest it to people looking for information on the subject. And you'll feel good because you help someone improve their life. And you'll feel good because you help someone find it and potentially improve their life. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.